Nwashisisana The Hare. The story begins with Willie Hare and the grey antelope's mutual agreement on planting some beans. Both start to steal from each other's field, while the hare did most of the stealing. One day, Hare catches Antelope through a trap while stealing and decides to kill her. He only lets her when he promises to give him the hoe. Hare then comes across Varun, the great lizard, who keeps watch of the chief's water hole. To catch the culprit, who is continually making it muddy, Nwashisisana goes up to him and suggests that they should till the field together and ties a hoe on his tail. Now Varun couldn't move because of the hoe. Finding this circumstance comfortable, Hare ravages the groundnuts of Varun and muddies the water. He blackmails Varun by not untying the hoe, forcing him to accept that it was Varun who muddied the waterhole of the chiefs. When Varun agrees to the deal of taking the blame, Hare heads out to the village and calls the chiefs. The hare was a wily trickster who can convince others into his plot, and so was Grey Antelope, his next prey. She was on sentry duty guarding the pool. Hare convinced her to join him to till the field. Then he ties the hoe to her forelegs, leaving her to struggle alone. Meanwhile, he runs to the pool, fills a calabash, and muddies the pool. He tells her that an army has passed by and muddied the pool. Antelope cries in horror and asks her to be untied, but Hare makes her to confess the misdeed which he had done. When she confessed before the villagers, she was killed by the chiefs. But there was one creature that outdid even the hare in cunningness, and that was Tortoise. She was the guard at the pond. The tortoise rejected the field cultivation plan proposed by the hare, but yielded to the robbery plan of sweet potatoes. Both roasted the potatoes and were enjoying it. Suddenly, the hare asked the tortoise to watch out for the owners. The tortoise disagrees, so both of them go to look out for the owners. While Hare went away, the tortoise crawled into Hare's sack. Hare came back, filled the sack with sweet potatoes to escape the proprietors. He ran as fast as he could. Meanwhile, the tortoise ate all the best ones in the sack. Being exhausted, Hare stops at a shady spot to grab a meal. He is shocked to find the tortoise inside his bag. He throws her away in disgust and she escapes. The next victim seemed to be the king lion himself. Hare is caught red-handed while stealing by the king. He convinces the king, saying that he will show the footprints of his subjects who come to steal. He asks the king to sit under a banyan tree and watch the thieves crossing by while the hare make him a crown of wax. He then begins to part the lion's mane and secretly makes holes through the bark of the tree and passes the hairs through them. He ties all the hairs securely together at the back of the tree with a string. Then he runs to the village and shouts, saying, "See who it is who ravages your fields." His shocked subjects beat the Lion King to death. Hare then takes the skin of the lion, wraps himself with it, and enters a queen's hut. He tells the queen that no one should disturb him, and as he suffers from an unknown illness. He commands a large slaughter of all the cattle of the king, and then he asks the queen to bring the king's valuables to him as he is leaving the kingdom. When the queen suggested to follow him, he refuses. Now the skin was starting to give a nasty smell. Hare decides to escape immediately with all the valuables. But soon the villagers came to know, so he had to run away as fast as he could because the village was in pursuit. He took shelter in a burrow which the villagers closed it with grass shortly after the hare entered. Suffering the pangs of hunger, Hare decided to leave the burrow. He ate grass, but it did not suffice him. He asked Grey Antelope to sew him up so that the nourishment stays inside and he doesn't get thin and weak. They consented to sew each other partially, but Hare sewed her up entirely. Luckily, a family cuts her stitches and she comes to life again. She then retorted to the Hare, "Never again do I call you my friend." Then Hare quenches his thirst at the pool, where he is snapped by the tortoise, who is in guard. Hare promises to give her the valuables which he had given to Chameleon. When Tortoise arrived at the Chameleon's house and demanded for Hare's money, the Chameleon is angered, blows into her eyes, and she dies. Thus, the oral tradition helps children make sense of this world and the important aspects of their culture. Oral traditions make it possible for a society to pass knowledge across generations without the medium of writing.